Happy Pirate Wednesdays, everybody. My name's Elisha.
I'm Alex.
I'm Esther.
And I'm Gigi.
And we're here to remind you what day it is. A random fact about me is I can pinch and pick up things with my toes.
Huh. I guess it's not too
Like
weird, though.
You can pinch things with your toes? That's horrifying.
Yeah, like with my big toe
That's
and whatever the toe
horrifying.
next to it. Would that be like my pointer toe? Is that what that one is?
Can it point?
Can't everybody do that? They just have to kind of try.
Well, yeah, no, in technicality, I mean, everybody has muscles in their toes unless you don't have toes or you have some sort of weird disease. But
In which case, I'm sorry we brought it up.
well, but like it's one of those things where, like when learning an instrument, you have to learn. Usually, if it's like the piano or in my case the cello, you have to learn how to control your muscles in a way that you don't normally. Yeah.
Do you know someone that can't pick up things with their toes?
I don't know. Anybody who has found out that I can do this is like, what? Really? Weird. So I'm guessing
It's not really,
everybody.
I mean,
I think the hard part
pick up
is
things.
probably the lifting and the like bringing it to your hand, right?
No.
Because you need a certain amount of flexibility to be able to like stand on one foot and lift, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's
like,
more leg based.
Because I mean, that's only one half of the story is being able to pick it up, you know, off the ground a little bit. But the other part is actually utilizing that in a way that is like comfortable.
like I'm picking up a sock with my foot right now. It's not that hard.
All right. Well, maybe it's a family thing. Everybody I've ever mentioned to thought it was weird. And Alex, are you suggesting that your toe can be considered from your actual toe to your like hip? Like, is that all toe to you?
What? No.
No.
Maybe you misheard me.
No. Well, you said like the hardest part of the process is being able to be flexible enough to bring it up to you. But like, I'm just talking about toe pinches. I'm picking stuff up with my toes,
Wait,
not necessarily.
Really?
like
And
being
people
able
are
to
impressed
grab
by
it.
just the toe pinch.
Yeah. They think it's weird.
Oh.
Maybe, do you know what? Since we're all not that weirded out by it, maybe it really is just a family genetic thing.
I don't know, monkeys or something.
Yeah, maybe we're the missing link.
Yeah, right.
Alright, so what have you guys been up to? It's actually been, I think, 2 weeks since we've got a chance to record.
Yes, it has. And I don't know if this is going to be Juji's new of the week, but I have to ask her, what the heck happened when you were trying to get out of the camp?
Oh boy.
Huh?
Because I heard that it was quite an ordeal, but I wanted to hear it firsthand from your mouth.
Okay.
So.
Well, my New Year's week was gonna be that I took my friends up to the camp for the week, for spring break, and I guess since you asked, I'll skip to that part where we tried to leave, and we were in a Prius, first of all.
Oh, well, that's your problem.
That's the first problem.
You're doing it
So
all wrong.
we made our first attempt to try to get up the hill, and almost made it. We're almost out, but it was just that last part we just weren't able to we weren't able to get fast enough to get up.
Pause the story.
Yeah.
Did you guys did you try to shovel it all like before you hopped in the car, like up at the top of the ramp or anything?
No.
Oh, well.
Oh, okay, so
Juge.
that's probably
Wait,
why.
like shovel what?
Like the part you got stuck on the first time.
No, we did.
Yeah,
not
that's
that I know
probably-
of, anyways. Unless someone else shoveled it before I saw it.
Because it was snowing that day. I had left in the morning and I had scraped a little bit off, but it was still snowing as I was leaving.
I feel like
And then I know you guys
someone
didn't-
did because they like cleaned off the car. Might have been Casey.
Oh, maybe there was a part there that you didn't know. So
Shoveled
let's
something.
get back to your
What?
story. So everybody's in the car, and you guys are trying to go up the hill,
Yeah.
like up that
And we
ramp,
get
and it's covered
right
in
to the
snow.
top.
I'm assuming.
We get right to the top, and we just can't get over that last bump. So we try to like back up again, but the car kept getting like stuck in the snow, and then we'd have to like shovel where it's stuck and like try to maneuver the car back. And then finally we got it back to the closer to the house so that she could make it a second attempt. This time we didn't all pack in the car, it was just Casey driving, and she tried a second time to make it over the top. But yeah, the Prius just can't like move that fast. And that last bump, she couldn't get up over it. So then we tried other things like cat litter to like give the tires more traction over there. We tried pushing and stuff, and eventually we were just like, oh, well, I guess we can't really get it over it, so we're just gonna like take a break. And we played a card game, Boss Monster, drank some tea, just sort of took a break. And then after that was done, Casey went out again to shovel a little more. She shoveled more into like the dirt at the top to try to like make it easier for the car to. We had parked the car right at the top. But she was like shoveling over there to like make it easier for the car to get over. And then Reed and Patrick had gone out at some point. I was still inside, I don't remember why, but like they apparently, so I didn't actually see this part where they ended up trying again, and they pushed the car while she tried again to get out, and they did it. And I like, so they came inside and they were like, we got the car out. So I didn't actually see them like succeed or anything.
I also noticed you guys had like a stranded piece of wood.
Yeah.
Was that another attempt at trying to get it to like grip the ground?
Yeah, we were like, maybe we can grip this wood, but then the wood just kind of like got
It just like propels like slingshots outward.
Yeah. Which looked kind of cool, but it was also good thing,
Not very safe.
good thing no one was back there. Yeah, that was safe. But
Jeez, that sounds like some sort of Final Destination movie accident. I'm glad you
so
goons
bad.
didn't hurt yourselves in your Prius.
Yeah. And then when we finally got out and we went to Manchester and we went to like a diner in Manchester Center, and the waitress, we told her about the like had a hard time getting out of her driveway, and then when we mentioned it was a Prius, she just laughed. Like she knew. No one has a Prius
Yeah,
up
it's
there.
like dumb.
Yeah, I've only ever seen like one or two, and those people live in town.
Yeah, but she just gave us this knowing look.
What about the rest of you guys? What have you guys been up to?
I substitute teach for the first time Friday.
This coming up Friday?
This last
Oh,
Friday.
this last Friday. Cool. How'd that go?
Yeah. Went pretty well, actually.
What grade?
Yeah, so I got hooked up into the system because I was looking for that kind of work.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it through this company. They run several different schools and kind of hook you up with the jobs. And it was all pretty easy getting up to it. And then I had my first, official gig this Friday. And it went pretty well. I substitute taught for this teacher who taught math for 7th graders. And, yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was a lot of fun, actually. I actually also subbed this morning. It was a half day, and I was like an assistant, so I didn't actually like really teach, and I wasn't really controlling the class. What I found so far is that I much more enjoy like actual subbing than being like an assistant or an aide, because like when you're an aide, like usually like the aides have like a pretty good relationship with the kids who need like help. And it's like you kind of just show up and they don't know who you are and just like, hey, you know, can I help you out with this? And they're usually hesitant. They're usually kind of like, nah, I don't need your help. So it's like, how do you break that boundary within a day, or not even half a day sometimes, or even just a period? Like you've just met them and you only have the whole period with them, you know, and they don't know you and they're not like very talkative. So it does make it different than if you have the whole class where you get to kind of like talk to all the students and everything. And some of the kids that I had this Friday, I got to see again today because I was going to the same school and I ended up in the same classroom as I did Friday. And so some of them were like, "Oh my God, it's you!" And then, you know, it's kind of funny when kids are like excited to see you.
Oh yeah, no, that
because they just met you.
I
and
missed
stuff.
that part of subbing actually.
Yeah. So it's been good. I'm excited. I can't, you know, wait to continue doing it and stuff like that. I mean, it doesn't pay very great, but it's, you know, it is what it is. So I don't mind doing it. But that was my new this last week because I had never done that before. So definitely a new experience.
Yeah, well, speaking from my own experience, it is a lot of fun and it's rewarding. So what about you, Esther?
Esther, I'm keeping that in there.
Hi guys.
Speaking of Esther,
I don't remember what happens. I never remember the day before, basically.
All right. Well, what about your car situation?
Oh,
uh-oh.
well, that's not what I want to talk about, so.
Oh, all right. Well, you just said you don't normally remember anything. I was
like,
helping.
Yeah. That's too long of a story. I
All right,
went.
Fine.
So I went to. I had my 1 year with Sam. On the 11th.
Yay, that's right.
And we went out to eat.
Congrats.
And we went to one of the Rhode Island escape rooms.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
It was really cool. I don't want to like spoil it because I feel like it'd be like you'd love it. It was very it was themed like kind of like a steampunk like weird like mechanisms kind of thing. You had to like solve different puzzles in the room and like open a secret vault and stuff. It was really cool.
Oh, that sounds totally up my alley.
Yeah.
Actually, Megan's as well, so I'll definitely have to get the information on where that is.
Yeah, I
at some
recommend
point.
doing that. Yeah, like my only piece of advice, like I obviously can't, I don't want to spoil anything for you. My only piece of advice is to work fast.
Esther, last week, so you somehow ended up in, so like your car and your car keys were in 3 different places at once?
Yeah, that's
And
true.
should you tell that story? Because
It
it
is
was kind
not-
of funny.
Oh, I don't even remember this story.
There's something about going to a store and the power went out because a balloon went and like.
Oh yeah, so that had nothing to do with like the fact that I was.
Yeah,
in
but you
different
told me
places.
that like during the
Yeah,
telling of
so
that
when the
story.
power went out across like Rhode Island, and I went to Bristol with Sam and me like eat at like a cafe or whatever, and we were gonna go to a little consignment like clothing place, but it was closed for some reason. So we decided to go to another one, and it's in the plaza, the Gooding Plaza. It's called Thirds. And so it's in this plaza like with like a dollar store near it and like a hardware store and a pet store. I don't know. Anyways, so I'm inside this consignment place and I'm looking at things and I was about to buy a pair of pants and all of a sudden the power goes out. So like the plaza had power, but then it just like went out for like no reason. And the storm was over, like the ice was starting to melt, so it was like really weird. So we look outside and there was a balloon on fire in the parking lot. like a deflated, like a deflated balloon from the dollar store. It was on fire, and we're all like, so that's weird. That's interesting. Who's gonna like? We're wondering, okay, like who's gonna take the initiative and like put the fire out? Then this little old lady walks through the parking lot with like a cup of water and like kind of huddles up to the balloon and just like splashes it with the water, and and then yells across the parking lot to someone like it was on fire, and like it was just really funny. The balloon what happened is it had caught it's caught on, like, I guess it flew somewhere, like the dollar store or whatever, onto like one of the electrical wires on the telephone pole, and it caught on fire and like burned something out. I don't know anything about electricity, but it had caused like a power outage in Thirds in like that plaza.
I didn't realize that a balloon could conduct electricity enough to cause it to combust.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Is it one of those foil balloons?
I think, yeah, it was one of those foil balloons.
Oh, that would make the difference.
And like it was very, very windy outside. So like obviously like there wasn't any, like it wasn't a storm, it was just a bunch of wind. And that had caused it to like, I don't know, go crazy up on the like the pole, you know? But anyways, it was just a funny sight because we're like, there's no power, and then all of a sudden we all look out the window and there's like a balloon on fire. It's like the end of the world.
It's the sign of the apocalypse.
The sign of the apocalypse.
What got her to tell me the story was because she needed me to pick up the car because her keys were at home, her car was at Sam's, and she was at her work. 3 different places, and I was like, how did you manage that? And my friends were really confused about it.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
If I could take a gander, you probably went to Sam's. Sam and you went out. She brought you to the house so you could pick up your stuff. You dropped your keys off there accidentally while you're changing into your work clothes, and then she brought you to work.
That's exactly what happened.
Or close
Yeah.
enough.
Like, I literally went home.
Okay,
I went
Sherlock.
home so I could change, and I left my keys there. Except Sam didn't bring me to work right away. We went to
The consignment
shop, but I had
told me
packed
that.
some clothes, but I forgot to put my keys in it. So I had packed my work clothes, and so we just drove to her house, thinking like, oh, it's fine because my car is there. But I had left my keys at the house. So she brought me to work the next morning because that's when I realized I'd left my keys.
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked Georgie to come.
Yeah, and I was on my way back from Boston because I went to the aquarium.
You went to the Boston Aquarium?
Yeah.
Oh,
On
cool.
Monday? Was that? Was it Sunday? It was
Oh,
on,
it
no,
was.
Sunday.
Sunday.
It was Sunday that we went there.
Yep.
Sunday.
So then Monday I went to Vermont.
Hey.
I think it needs to be known that the whole Reed thing, driving as much as she did, because that was pretty. I don't know if it was dumb or like it deserves like an applause.
What happened to
Yeah.
Reed?
So Reed, oh man, she had a sort of creative writing class that she decided to take, and the first class was last week, but we planned our Vermont trip, so she was like, I'll just drive back to go to the class, and then I'll drive back to Vermont on my own.
What the heck?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The class was from like 5 p.m. to 9, so she drove back to Rhode Island, went to the class, and then she drove back to Vermont, and she got back at like 1 a.m.
She spent an entire day going to a class and coming back.
Well, I mean, not the entire day,
Yep.
because before that we went to, we did a couple things out in like Manchester, and we went to the Norman Rockwell Museum.
Oh.
And then we went to Manchester to there was a really cool bookstore and stuff. But then she dropped us off at the camp and then went off to Rhode Island. She was so tired the next day. She was like, I don't want to drive again for the rest of my life.
I don't blame her. That sounds like the worst day.
I hope her class was productive, because you said that was her first class, right?
Yeah.
You normally with first classes, especially with a creative writing class, you don't get into much. You're not missing a lot on the first day.
Yeah, they hand out the whole thing, the pamphlet.
I don't know what the deal is with it, but yeah, you'd have to ask her.
So whenever you guys feel I don't want to drive up here, it's too far. Think of this moment. Think of this situation.
Think of Reed's sacrifice.
And be like, yeah, the Reed sacrifice. What would Reed do? Let's put that on a bracelet.
WWRD.
That sounds like torture. So
I don't know. I was like, I don't know if you want to do that, but okay, Reed, just it's your choice.
Oh boy.
It's her mom's car, so that.
So for me this week, last couple weeks, well, for one, officially, as of a couple hours ago, I have the interwebs at my apartment.
you
Yeah.
finally
So
got
after-
Wi-Fi.
Who'd you go with?
After something like 8 months of being here, I finally decided to get Wi-Fi.
Huh. How is it?
I don't know. I haven't got a chance to use it yet.
You're not on it right
No.
now.
Nice.
I just know it's hooked up. I called Cox and got it all hooked up, and my modem finally came in today. So, but yeah, so there's that, and I was craving mac and cheese the other day, but it's very, very hard to make mac and cheese when you can't have gluten or dairy, and so I looked up a bunch of recipes. Wasn't really happy with any of them in particular, so I took a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And Megan and I went to Whole Foods and Stop and Shop and picked up a bunch of ingredients, and we made a fantastic baked mac and cheese. We put bacon bits in there. Well, we put pieces of bacon in there. They put in little bits, and because there is a difference, bacon bits are actually kind of gross. But I put basil in there. Bacon bits are vegan.
I don't think they're actually
That's why they're
meat.
gross.
Hold on, let me check.
They're probably soaked in meat. It's kind of like spray cheese, where it's almost completely not cheese at all, but there's just enough for me not to be able to have it. That and it's gross, but still. But yeah. Oh, and Alex helped me get a supercomputer, or what I'm calling a supercomputer. It's
I don't think, not really supercomputer. I mean, you should see some of the stuff they have these days, but
well, all right, fine. It's still
you can call it the supercomputer if you want.
it's still a much better computer than my work laptop or my MacBook Pro from 2011 that barely turns on.
So, are you retiring that 100% now? Is it dead?
It's
dead,
not
or
dead. It's just I turn it on and then sometimes it just turns back off. It's nope.
Even when
not
it's plugged
today.
in?
Oh yeah, no, it has nothing to do with the battery. I have honestly no idea what's causing it anymore. And it used to be. The funny thing is, it used to be a really great computer. It was at a split hard drive, so you could do both Windows and the Mac operating system on there. And now you can barely keep it on for a little while, and it just crashes on you. It's a mess.
That's pretty frustrating.
Yeah, no, it's super frustrating. So, but for now, those are the only two I have until my supercomputer comes in.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm sure the parts will all come in. I don't know if I'm gonna have to do some kind of install over the phone with you, like I did with Juge. But
Possibly. For an engineer, I'm not
I
particularly
don't think I'll be
tech-savvy.
able to be there this week. Is you know? What
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean?
think it's coming in this week
Considering-
anyhow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Interesting.
think most of the stuff it's a little bit ways out. So
Maybe I could help because I did it once before.
that is true.
That's true. Juji could help you.
She usually has a knack for that sort
The
of
one
stuff.
thing. One thing I noticed about the case you got is I think the motherboard sits like differently. Like normally it's like horizontal or like it's sitting like up and down. This one I think sits flat like on the ground for some reason. I think. So I think you have to just be careful when you take stuff out that you're like put everything back in a certain order.
Okay.
Otherwise you might have to retake it back out. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
But other than that, the case looked cool. I think it's like a mini version of what I got, except yours has color and mine's all black.
Yeah, I like the orange on it,
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
but
It's probably going to be around the same size as your actual printer, so you'll have like two cubes. You know, one that prints like objects, the other that makes the printed objects.
oh well, I don't have a printer. The Cube print.
I-
3D printer.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So let's tackle a topic. I don't know if you guys remember, but it is what is a character or some characters that inspire you? Whether it's characters you want to be like or characters that, I don't know, just make you want to accomplish things, characters who have traits that you admire or wish to kind of make a part of your own character. And they can be literary characters, they can be TV characters, movie characters, characters of any sort.
Oh man, I don't remember this one at all.
For you.
For me?
For you.
Why would
Yes.
Esther said Charlie the Unicorn for me?
Why?
I can't really argue with that.
I'm not particularly inspired by Charlie the Unicorn, but
Are you sure?
going to Candy
Should
Mountain,
be.
Charlie.
Alright, well, so oddly enough, earlier there was a couple transition points where I wanted to bring this topic up, but I hadn't talked about my new this week yet. Not that it really would have mattered, but because Sherlock Holmes would definitely be one of those characters.
Oh yeah, same.
He's
He's pretty
very
cool.
intelligent. He's very observant. A very confident individual.
I've
So
actually
the
been reading a lot of Sherlock Holmes lately, and
mm-hmm.
I just got a book, and I think I showed you this.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
It's called Warlock Holmes, and it's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
I think it's kind of
What?
a parody of it. It's someone told me that apparently he doesn't have any powers of deduction, but he has like magical powers. And it's supposed to be really funny.
Yeah, as I think I said before, you'll have to let me know how that is. And then
Yeah.
I get second dibs because apparently Reed gets first dibs.
Yes.
And then probably besides him, another one would be like Doctor Who, the 10th Doctor, of course, David Tennant. Because again, he's whimsical and eccentric, and intelligent and confident and strange, and you never really know exactly what to expect from him. And then, kind of back with the detective theme, of course, Batman.
You want to wear tights?
I want to be Batman.
I was gonna say Batman as a joke, actually.
Yeah, well,
Wow, that means you want
joke's
to
on
be a
me.
joke.
Thanks, Esther.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, what about you?
In all honesty, though, like, I don't think, not that I don't relate to, like, fictional or, like, real characters necessarily, but it's hard for me, and it's always been hard for me to, in a sense, sort of, like, glorify or idolize them.
Yeah.
So, like, it's hard for me to come up with someone that I, like, could say with, like, all certainty that is, like, definitely somebody who I admire and is like, oh, yeah, I would totally be this person if I could.
Oh no!
In almost every way,
that's
kinda.
that's definitely not the way I look at it. Because, for instance, Sherlock Holmes has some terrible drug addictions and pushes most people away because he's an asshole. Batman is secretive and can't really have any friends, and kind of creates his own justice above all else, and again pushes away his friends. Doctor Who, while whimsical and intelligent, gets himself in all sorts of situations and can kind of be flighty and forgetful of how it affects the people around him sometimes. So I don't by any means directly think any of these characters are perfect. And I definitely wouldn't want their flaws, but I think I like them and admire them for the characteristics I do enjoy in them, and respect them in a way for the fact that they also do have these flaws.
So I think a good one for Alex would be Napoleon Dynamite.
I respect, his character and his thoughtful mind
Oh my.
and his
feelings
his
about
taste
tots.
for gourmet
Feeling.
tots.
Vote for Pedro.
Oh my god!
Also vote for Pedro.
so many flashbacks right now.
Okay, well, I got one.
What?
For a time when I was doing, like, some research and watching films and stuff like that, I was kind of, like, infatuated with Stanley Kubrick. I think a lot of, like, younger aspiring, like, filmmakers tend to, like, look towards him because he just was, like, I mean, I don't know, like, he's not, he died, like,
Wait,
a while ago,
that's not
if
a
you don't really
fictional
know much about his
character,
life,
though.
but does it have to be
No,
fictional?
No, I kept it very broad. Just
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. It doesn't have to be fictional.
Cool.
But like he died like in the late 90s, and like I don't think he would have. I don't know. Like it's kind of hard to say what it'd be like if he made films today. But like looking retrospectively on like what work he did and how he did things and stuff like that, it's kind of inspiring, and also it's just sort of he lived an interesting life as well and stuff. And I don't know. I respected that. Although I don't appreciate or like every single one of his films, I do appreciate like some of the things that he like spent his time trying to figure out, Like he was one of those kind of people who just like, for better or for worse, micromanaged everything and wanted to know, he wasn't like in a bad sense some of the time, like he actually was interested in the things and wanted to micromanage because he really was interested in what he was doing, you know what I mean? Not just for the sense of having complete control, like say like an Alfred Hitchcock, you know what I mean? Like he actually was interested in the technical side of things and making everything like just so or perfect in his eyes because like he was actually really interested in those things, not because he just wanted to have control over it. So for those reasons, like it's kind of cool to like look at like some of his work and stuff like that and the things he did. So I definitely do kind of idolize him in a sense just for those reasons. But,
It's a good pick. What about you girls?
Mm-hmm.
Georgie already went, right?
No, I didn't. You just said
Sorry.
Charlie the Unicorn.
All right, George, pick someone.
I don't know.
Well, I imagine one of Esther's has to be Buffy, because she's always like screaming, "I'm Buffy!" and then starts trying to stab me.
Yeah, that's like my that's like my recent like iconic role model kind of thing, or like the person who inspires me. I think, so like in the past, I used to have a lot of like role models and like TV shows and stuff, and it was always like the evil
Hannah Montana?
characters. No, it wasn't. It was always like
boy, that's even worse.
That's
it was always like no, it was always like the evil like
Doofenshmirtz.
like
you want to be just like
Sorry.
Doofenshmirtz.
like it was always like the evil sibling or like the kid or the girl who like never who like pulled pranks on people like so my
like in Drake and Josh.
like Megan from Drake and Josh was one of my like idols.
Mm.
I found much
Yeah.
inspiration from her.
Yeah, we've discovered that over the years.
I was like, you know what? I have two brothers. I can pull pranks too. I just can't. I just don't have money to spend on it.
Is that why you put toothpaste on Alex's shoes?
I did that, and I also put toothpaste on his doorknob.
Hey, I'm still mad about that, okay?
No, you're mad about the pillowcase.
You never said
No,
sorry.
you're mad about the pillowcase because the toothpaste that I put on your shoes actually whitened your shoes. Because that's actually like a
Probably baking soda or
It's
something.
true.
yeah, it actually
They were really. They looked really
yeah, it
clean
really did.
afterwards.
But so I would put like okay, so and then I would put like I would close his door, right? And then I would put something slimy on his doorknob, like something clear, like lotion or something.
Yeah, you like put lotion on my
he'd
doorknob
have to
one
turn
time.
the doorknob to open his room, but he wouldn't know that there was something slimy on it. And then I put slime like that I made from scratch, like out of like a bunch of different things. And I put it on his pillow,
Oh,
and it
boy.
ruined his pillowcase. I didn't know about that, and then I also. Sorry,
You didn't think
I
it might,
also
this
let off
might,
a stink bomb in his.
This might leave a stain. No, it won't.
I let off a stink bomb in his room one time, but
See, I don't think anyone would have noticed that.
I didn't even know
But
about that
what
one.
happened was it was there like you could smell like I let it off and then I closed the door so it would explode and it would like seep into your room. And I opened the door and it smelled like a little bit, but it only lasted for like 5 minutes and then it just kind of like blended in with the rest of the scent of your room, which I was really sad about. And then I just like did like weird things, like any object that I felt like I could just like manipulate and like destroy. Like not destroy it, but like you know what I mean? Like you had a bunk bed at the time, and so to like prevent you from like climbing your bunk bed or something, I would like put slime on like the ladder and everything. I don't know. I just did awful things.
I'm like in bed at night. Esther's like unscrewing all the screws in my bed so that I'll fall like on the ground.
I saw it in
Thanks,
Drake and
Esther.
Josh.
And then
Yeah.
you were the victim too, Elisha. Remember, I changed your CD because we had CD players back then, and I changed your CD with my Barbie CD, my Princess and the Pauper. And then
Yeah, I
and you
forgot
got
about that.
so mad at that. You came upstairs and you're like, "Oh, where's my alternative music?" And then, yeah. Then I put a bunch of like 100 naked Barbie dolls in your bed, like under your sheets. One
Uh-huh.
time.
Wait, I thought you did. I thought Elisha did that to Alex.
No,
He
I
put it all
did.
over his room.
He did that but he found inspiration from me because I did it to him
No,
first.
no. I actually, Alex and I had watched a episode of The Twilight Zone of like one of the newer reboots of it, and there was one episode where this girl was babysitting, and all the Barbies were past babysitters, and they like would show up
Oh
around
my-
the apartment. And first she thought they were trying to kill her, but then like at the end when the little girl turned her into a Barbie, she realized that they were all past babysitters.
Oh my god.
So, so instead I
Juji's like freaked
filled
out.
Alex's room with the Barbies and like put them different places where he'd accidentally stumble across them. I put one right next to his pillow so that like when he turned around in the morning it would just like face him. But anyhow, we got a little off track on topics of how we bothered Alex. What about you, Juge?
I guess I somewhat dress a little like the Winchesters from Supernatural.
All right. Fair enough. That's the type of inspiration.
to like, yeah.
You're
a little
inspired
weird.
by the Winchesters. You dress like them
That's what I just said.
on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's what she just said. All right, ahoy! It's a pirate song. So this week's pirate song is "The Sailor Song" by Autoheart off of the album Punch, and it's a good song. It's a sailor song.
Huh.
It's a song I haven't listened to recently, so I can't describe what it sounds like, but trust me, it's a good song.
Cool.
So, do you guys have anything that you'd like to promote? Oh, I'm starting that a
Nope.
little bit early.
Not really.
We have to wrap
Figures.
this thing up because I have to go.
Alright. I'm wrapping it up like a gift. So, thanks to our 2 listeners, our mom and our Uncle Richie, for listening in, as always. Not even sure if mom currently has been keeping up with these episodes. I think she's like a good 10 behind. But anyhow, Esther, want to tell the folks at home where they can find us and how they can send in listener questions?
You can
and
find us on
suggestions.
Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes at Pirate Wednesdays. And you can find us on Twitter at Pirate Wednesday without the S. And don't forget to leave comments, rate, subscribe, send messages, whatever.
Nice. Solid. Chooch, you want to sign us off?
Don't forget to shave your belly with a rusty razor.